and welcome in everybody. Before we get started in this little extra live here today, where I wanted to talk about, we'll still go over XRP and such, but I wanted to go over Epic, the Epic token. One, because I had forgotten about it for some time, and I remember bringing it up to Julie some time ago, and we were talking about it because we were talking about real world assets. And that was one that Ripple actually invested in, and I'm kind of disappointed that I forgot about it because it's had quite a turnaround. But Shane brought it up in the Telegram earlier, and it was like a revelation when he brought it up. It's like I made sure it was the right one and yada yada yada. But it's back testing a pretty significant area right now. And even though it doesn't have the history to go back and be like, oh, this is like back testing a daily golden cross style setup, if it had a long enough history, it would absolutely be in that kind of a setup. Because in the 4 hour, you can see it, but it's not long enough. I think this is the best one we'll be able to do, one like this. But it doesn't have a long enough history where we can go back into the daily and be like, hey, it's technically back testing. What it's doing is back testing that golden cross just the same, or actually trying to play off of one. But it doesn't have enough history. It can't go back 200 days. So, and then on the back test, what you want to see is you want to see the volume on the breakout. And as it's consolidating, you want to see the volume breaking down day by day. And that's exactly what's happening. This looks like a bullish consolidation. And if this does break out, I mean, it's back testing the all-time cup here that it would have had, probably making a little bit of a handle as well. Big W here. That's the all-time start. The interesting thing about this token, and who knows how many people are actually going to watch this because it doesn't say XRP to start. Or how I don't even think I put XRP at all in the title. What did I say? Ripple-backed Epic token, real-world asset by Epicchain, is backtesting for substantial rally. Only 30 million tokens. That's the other thing. There's only a 30 million token supply. But let's just say we'll measure it first like this, the base of all of this, which it technically broke out and's already done that. That's the beauty of this. So now if we backtest and we actually hold, and we have a real breakout here and this actually plays out, you know, you're talking about over the top at minimum would bring this up near $4. But with such a small circulating supply, this could just be the start. Like, let me just real quick, if you don't know what it is, I didn't want to take up the screen so much to say, but I have it written down. I have it. So Epicchain is a project backed by Ripple, which is rapidly growing in the real world assets RWA space. It is focused on building, and this is what I find important. So we have the ISO and IoT. We really should focus on RWA as well. I've completely, for some reason, it eluded me earlier when I was talking. But the goal of Epicchain is they're focused on building the world's first RWA superstructure, connecting institutions and consumers across various asset classes. Ripple is an investor in Epicchain, so they're backing this project for a reason. And I like to follow in the footsteps of what I know. So while Ripple, the company behind the XRP ledger, is backing Epicchain, XRP itself is primarily focused on fast and low-cost cross-border payments. The XRP ledger, with its native cryptocurrency, XRP, is known for its speed and cost-effectiveness in payments. Epicchain, on the other hand, is an Ethereum Layer 2 solution specifically designed for the entertainment industry. So I wonder if that's why Ripple actually has the on and off ramp via Ethereum because of this project. It actually starts to make a little bit of sense now. It leverages the XRP leverage efficiency and brings the EVM, which is the Ethereum virtual machine, I believe, compatibility to the real-world asset ecosystem. Epicchain uses the token symbol EPIC. In essence, XRP is the native digital asset of the XRP ledger focused on payments and efficient cross-border transactions. Epicchain is a separate project backed by Ripple, which utilizes the XRP ledger and its benefits while expanding into the entertainment and RWA sectors. So Ripple, a company that created the XRP ledger and is an investor in Epicchain. And we know XRP Ledger is a decentralized open source blockchain where the digital asset XRP is traded. The XRP is a native token. As to where Ethereum, or on the Ethereum Layer 2 solution, is where Epicchain is built for the entertainment industry and real world assets. It's backed by Ripple and connects to the XRP Ledger. And conveniently for all of us, It is on BITUNIX. And if you're interested in taking a look at it, and for full exposure, I am invested in this project. FYI. And it's a very recent investment. This is one that literally smacked me across the face. If Shane wouldn't have brought this up, I would have looked back on this some time from now when I realized it, when it was eons higher, and I'd say, oh, son of a bitch. And I would have looked at this exact spot and would have said, you know, I wish I would have remembered. So, I'm just, this is definitely far ahead. This is far ahead of its time right now. Because obviously we don't know if it falls apart. But what we're looking at here is a back test of the all-time structure here. And this could be where it actually, and because of the volume, the way it was set up, it makes me feel pretty good about it. Because the sell volume is so low and it's just depleting, as to where the buy volume was so strong until it actually corrected. That's a good sign. Super low market cap, super low amount of total circulating supply, which is only at 30, it will be 30 million is the total, it says. It's on the same level as XRP Healthcare in this. If you're looking on the ledger and you're trying to find these micro caps, I mean, this would be one just like XRP Healthcare that you have a hope and a prayer. And who knows? I don't know how far down this can go. I'm willing to continue to gain more exposure to it if it goes down by substantial amounts. But I don't know. It seems like something that has a real identity and it has a future here. So it's man, it's definitely an appealing one. I'll tell you that much. Appealing enough to where I have exposure to it. And I'm not so much worried about price at this moment, besides the opportunity of where it's actually at right now. The breakdown from $3 and something cents has been tremendous. It had better than a 40% correction. Right now it's at 38.5. And this is exactly where, if I watch this pump, I would say this is where it would have to come down to. This area. Maybe it comes down a little farther. Maybe it has to actually come down to 160. But you understand what I mean. It seems like this area is perfect. This is the area it needs to come into. If I had $500 and had to choose between H bar and XDC, which one do you lean towards? I would hate to choose between the two, but I would probably impartially lean towards XDC. Oh, there's gonna be so much that this could be implemented for. Think of a real world asset as well. They can literally take any asset and convert it. You know, it can be, it's weird. These new things are, that are starting to pop up here, and especially because it's backed by Ripple. You know, they're not the creators, but they're backing it with some serious investments. And they own, you know, they're doing it for a reason. Gala's probably going to be a big one as well. No, yeah, that's absolutely on point, Steven. The rumor of owning things and pay with crypto, that's dead on. Let's be real, metaverse is the future. McMichael, you never heard of Epic. It's a token backed by Ripple. But that's not, the bottom line is the reason why I find value in it is because it's trying to be the first like hub. And the best way of putting it is the way that they said it. They're trying to be the first superstructure for real world assets, connecting institutions, consumers across various asset classes. And Ripple is an investor in the Epicchain. So they believe in this. You know, it's also a gaming platform. Yep, Epic Games. Absolutely. I told Julie about this with Fortnite too. Think about all the potential there as well. If it's becoming an in-game currency, they've already got millions and millions of users just for that game alone. I should know because I play it because of my nephew. So, you know, there's a lot of ways this can go. And it's interesting though that Ripple actually finds it feasible. But yeah, this is a stretch here, guys. This is just something on the XRP ledger. We don't know how low or how high it can go. It's a micro cap token, but these are the ones that you kind of like to follow and maybe get a little exposure to along the way. And there's never any right time. Yeah, it would have been nice to been paying attention to this. Oh man, I remember telling Julie about this when they were about to release it. I can't believe I forgot about this. In all fairness, it's just below the price it released at and most exchanges. So you got to see the hardy correction, the breakout, the back test right now. And if this breaks out, I mean, it's going to be a substantial move back up from where it's at. It's more than a 1x. Or right about a 1x. But this would be just the start. That's the thing, like what these kind of tokens do. These are the things that have the potential to go infinite. That's the crazy thing. It's on the XRP ledger via the Ethereum. Now, let me read how it has it stated so that I don't mince my words. So it's not, it leverages the XRP ledger. So Epicchain is an Ethereum layer 2 solution specifically designed for entertainment industry. It leverages the XRP ledger's efficiency and brings EVM capability to the real world asset ecosystem. So it has exposure to it. It uses it to do what it does, but it also plays off of Ethereum as well, the EVM. So it makes me wonder if that's why the connection was made between the XRP ledger with Ethereum. Remember how this happened last year. It's interesting. I don't know if you can buy it on the ledger, honestly. I know you can buy it on BITUNIX. But it's interesting, actually. Yeah, it's at $1.9250 or whatever. I mean, it's not... It's been on a significant downturn, so I mean... It's better to talk about it here at $1.90 than it was at $3.17. So it was just good timing all around by Shane to talk about it too. Oh yeah, I think it's on crypto.com. It's on a few of them. Binance. I can just give you a quick rundown. Just send it real quick. Just a quick rundown. Epicchain, the token Epic, is a project backed by Ripple, which is rapidly growing in the real-world asset space. It is focused on building the world's first real-world asset superstructure, connecting institutions, consumers across various asset classes. Ripple is an investor in the Epicchain. So Ripple as a company uses the XRP ledger. There's the company behind XRP ledger is backing Epicchain. XRP itself is primarily focused on fast, low-cost cross-border payments. As the XRP ledger with its native cryptocurrency, XRP is known for its speed and cost effectiveness in payments. Epicchain is an Ethereum layer 2 solution specifically designed for the entertainment industry. It leverages the XRP ledger's efficiency and brings EVM capability to real-world assets RWA ecosystem. Epicchain uses the token symbol EPIC. So if you're wondering, it does connect to the XRP ledger. So Epicchain, an Ethereum layer 2 solution built for the entertainment industry and real world assets. It's backed by Ripple and connects to the XRP ledger. So there's a lot of connections here, and it's relatively cheap right now in a total scheme aspect. But with the market setup, market structure, let's take a look at it in a smaller time frame and see what we can find. In a smaller time frame, just like a lot of them, it very well could find itself bearish in this setup and end up falling down to, I mean, you wouldn't necessarily want it to do that, but it's possible that it does continue to fall in a channel-like setting and then find itself a little cheaper, but you just never know. We can't possibly know here. It's so new that we have no history, so there's nothing to go off of. It did have a nice volume pump here. And then on the sell, that volume is crashing, which is what you want to see for a reversal at some point. White House crypto report mentioned Ripple and Hedera. Beautiful. And bilaterally, by mentioning Ripple, that's going to be great for Axelar. And you would think it'd be good for something like this as well that's backed by Ripple. I'm trying to have the connections here. Like Ripple is a There's a lot of connections with Axelar as well, so I have exposure there. XDC, VeChain, Gala, and kept some of my XRP. Not a bad idea, Nunya. Gala is one that I definitely need exposure to for the gaming side. Jim Cramer said buy H-bar, Joel Lord. Just send it. Tokenomics for Epic are awesome. 30 million. Yep. I mean, there's only 30 million tokens. Sorry, I forgot to say that. So, I mean, it's a micro cap in every word of the sense. It's got 1/3 the total tokens that XRP Healthcare will have, which is pretty interesting. But it's going to come with volatility. A lot of volatility. And it might be, it's so new that it might take time to get to where it's going. The market structure as a whole, shaky at best, which means you could get better opportunities going forward. So don't shoot your whole wad in one place, so to say. But just, just be aware of that chain. Just be aware of Epicchain. Be aware of the connection with Ripple. And the fact that it does utilize the XRP ledger. I mean, the fact that it could be the first superstructure, or is going to be, because I don't see any other chain working on this particular thing. But for real world assets, if that's the first utilization, that's going to be huge. So, for gaming too, yeah. Let's be real. Micro points purchasing will be better than whole coin. Probably. Especially when you bring it into the virtual world. Like that whole digital world, that's a whole life of its own. So this is a whole different world. This is a whole different ball game. I wouldn't even honestly, this is something where I would separate from other cryptos. Like I wouldn't have this connected to any of those funds. Buying gear for I know that's true, Steven. And when you start to use it like this with the real world asset and the connection and the fact it's Epic, like we can draw the conclusion. That's what first attracted me. I'm like, wait a minute, Ripple's backing this and it's Epic. It just makes sense to me that I feel like there's that big connection, and they've already got that whole virtual world, that whole side of the coin. They've already got it connected. So holy moly. But it's we might be crazy, Shane. What do we know? We absolutely might be crazy, but everybody thought we were crazy with XRP and the ISO and IoT feelings, right? XRP just makes us look less crazy. That's all. Bitcoin being over 100,000 just makes us look less crazy that crypto can actually be real utility. I don't put it on the same level as gold and silver, but I feel like it's how you build your wealth, and then you can put it into something more. Yeah, but isn't Epic something different on the stock market? There's two different token symbols. There's Epic in crypto, but I believe Epic in the stock market. Wait a minute, why am I doing it like this? Let's go to my website to make it easier. Yeah, and you can all use XRPFutureMillionaire.com. Live API, dedicated servers. It's free for all. So we'll go to stocks so we can separate, right? Epic. We're going to want to go to the NASDAQ, but that's Education Group. Oh, that's EEIQ. Epic, what is this? I don't know what the hell this is, but this is the Epic symbol in the stock market. Technology services. Hey, wait a minute. Epic. Is this the same Epic? This can't be this cheap. This ain't the right one, is it? Maybe I'm going to have to invest in both sides of it. Is this the right Epic? I have to do some further research. That's technologies. It used to be ERN. Thank you. Well, yeah, I know what it is in crypto. We were trying to see it in the stock market. I know what it is in crypto, but I was trying to see it in the stock market. But you can find Epicchain in a lot of places. I wonder how far back it goes on some of these. Not too far back. Because it all starts, whoops, it all starts in the same spot. But what is Epic at, right? What is it, EPGA? Oh, ERM. What's EPG? AI. Epic. Okay, shit, I put Epic Games. Epic. No. What do I know? Apparently nothing. Was it bought out by Ripple? It kind of feels like it. Cowabunga. It feels like it was taken over by Ripple. Now let me restart this since this is fucking stupid. Let's see. I want to see what Google says, or what it says if I do a Google search on AI. I suspect they probably haven't, even if they don't say. I don't know. Says it's $450 a share for what Epic's private. We're just trying to make a connection here while crypto is kind of getting smacked around here a little bit today. You know, we're trying to make a real world connection, so to say, because we know it's looking a little shaky at best in the crypto sphere. But in the daily time frame, we're still set up in that same back test. Wow, $450. That's craziness. And I wanted to bring this up, not to say to buy it at this exact moment, just to tell you to keep an eye on it. I haven't used the whole 4,000 or not even close, but I have that set to the side to layer into this thing over time here. I just put some capital and I said I'm going to utilize this and I'm going to see if it breaks down layer by layer by layer. Layer by layer by layer, and we'll see what happens. Because I don't know, I got no reference point here. That's the problem right now. Like, I don't have a reference point to tell you where to buy because we don't have a distinct, like, we don't know. It's so new. We can't go back 200 days to get like a real sound setup. So it's kind of a wait and see approach. Like, could it be the first start here? It could be. That's why it could, but I don't know. Like, maybe this is the start of something. So we're heading into an area where it might be satisfying. But I don't know. If it breaks down from there, then it's a whole nother problem. This actually would give us better utilization. Just say it takes a while. And we could even get first layer. So now if that breaks down and it ends up being something where we have to do something like this, we don't know. We can only use what's in front of us right now in the 4 hourly. So like, it's literally at that make it or break it point in the small time frame, but we already know that around the rest of the market. Dailies and 4 hourly are speaking, you know, something. It's either it's going to hold these layers or we break down, and this is no exception. Actually, it's a nice spot to look at it at because it's either at the support structure or it comes crashing down like the rest. It looks like it's almost like the XRP chart. Yeah, it looks pretty darn close, honestly. It looks like a lot of the charts too, actually. XRP just has more of a bearish sentiment because of that little, what could be bear flag on this little setup. XRP's got more definitive setup. As to where if you go to Epic, it's just kind of up in one motion down. But yeah, I mean, there's still the hump there, so similar. Just less of a history, that's all. I'll be interested to see how this plays out. I will, because if this plays down, if it's a pattern reset, just have your eye on this. So I don't know if it'll break down, but if it does, we very well could find ourselves around that dollar mark if it comes all the way. But if it uses this as a bullish continuation, you know, it could find itself rolling with XRP near that $4 plus area. It's pretty interesting, this setup. Yes, Steven, some Fed payments do start on Friday. Not as many as people think, but it's definitely not being talked about as much this week. But yeah, it definitely goes into effect tomorrow, some of them. Do I think we will hold? It's going to be based on the broader market. If the whole market loses the daily golden cross, this isn't going to hold on its own. If the market is ready to actually play out of these golden crosses right now, oh, it's going to be big. But the market's going to have to maintain its structure. And right now it's shaky. Like if you go across the board, you got these setups where it shows a lot of potential pain here in the short term. But if the dailies hold, we've come down about as far as we can go. And that's the same case with Epic. If they hold, we've come down about as far as we can go. It's not a large amount of the payments, and it's very hard to verify. No, it's not a meme coin, Cowabunga. It can't be a meme coin if it deals with real-world assets. I mean, I suppose it could be, but I don't look at it as a meme coin. I look at it as something that's starting a superstructure. I mean, it's trying to utilize real-world assets with businesses, corporations, investors, entities alike. I think that's more than just a meme. A meme has no basis. It has no utility. By being a real-world asset and trying to connect real-world assets, doesn't that by definition make it a utility? Making it by definition not a meme because it has utility. A meme has no utility, nor no focal point, nor no focus. It's just there to pump and dump. It has nothing. There's no utilization. Can I point out what a golden cross? Yeah, I can. So here, I have IOTA out. In the daily time frame, the golden cross using the exponential moving averages, and you can use different tools, but I like to use the 20-day, 50-day, 100-day, and 200-day, which is the dark blue. When the 20-day crosses the 50, it's a bullish cross. Bigger cross when it crosses the 100. When it crosses the 200, that is called a golden cross. Some people only use the 50, 100, 200. I like to use the 20 days out. So the 50, when it crosses the 200-day, some people say is a more defined metric for the golden cross, but nonetheless, it's still the golden cross, the 20 cross and the 200. Right now, we're back testing this cross, which means that if we go too far down, this is going to invalidate, and the 20 is going to recross the 200, invalidating that push. Right now, where it's at, it's about as far down as we can go, and we're running out of days until a pushback would have to happen to make this a valid motion, a valid setup. So when we say we're back testing the golden cross, we are back testing the 20 cross and the 200, which is still crossed through. It's still a golden cross. And if this holds and bounces up, we're going to get the validation then the 50 and the 100 crossing, which would give us not only the signal, it would give us the signal, and then we're trying to get validation here with the 50 crossing the 200. But then once the 100 crosses the 200 on a successful back test, that's the confirmation that we have a short-term pattern flip. In the daily time frame, being in the daily, that is a bona fide pattern flip. So that's what we're looking for there. And you'd be seeing that on Epic as well, but there's not 200 days back. Sorry, I should have said Flare is working on a stablecoin backed by XRP. It's not live yet, but that is interesting. That is interesting. That'll be something to watch. But yeah, it's the way you will look at the market. Either you're looking at it micro and getting very afraid right now because you're looking for further correction, even though it's just past the 200-day and maybe this is a bear flag, or you're looking at it from a more macro perspective, saying this is the back test right now of alt season, and we're gearing up. Doesn't mean we can't come farther down, but it's all about perception. If we break this structure, we'll come down just below 17 cents for IOTA, or right around 17 cents. But honestly, that's all I have to talk about. I just wanted to talk about Epic and bring it to light. I want to go spend some time with my son outside with Julie. I do plan on doing a live tonight, but that means I got to get done with the rest of the stuff in my house. I would love to hear feedback on this, and I'll stay updated on this, especially if we start dropping 10, 20, 30% would be a great moment to maybe introduce more and more people. But I want to see how this setup rounds out. I want to see if it does play this structure, if it does end up forming something else that we can't see yet because it's so new. We can only go by what we see in front of us right now. And it took me a while to even be, once we start looking at this, to try to figure out any kind of way to build this. But it's very possible that this could play out, and this might be something slightly different here. So we have to wait and see. It's too new. It's too new. The one good thing is the volume poured in on the way up and it's depleted on the way down, which means it should be bullish consolidation. I just don't know how far down it can go because we have no history. Like, this is our history here, less than 200 days. So right now it's doing what you'd want to see to get another big push. Released, had a big dump like it should have, broke out, back testing the initial breakout point or the initial starting point. And now if it breaks out into discovery, yeah, it could be crazy, but I don't know how long it takes to get there, if it gets there and when it gets there. So we'll continue to watch, and the farther down it goes, if the market does shuffle down, it'll be something to definitely keep our eye on. Definitely keep our eye on. So, but yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting. That's true. It is true with the name potential for the meme because of XRP's name and the potential behind it. But I would not go balls deep in yet. I put $4,000 to the side here, and I'm starting to tab my toes here a little bit. Not a lot by that means, but we got to see if we get validation here. So just be aware of it. I'm not saying to buy. I'm saying be aware of this token, and we'll discuss it.